You know when you're playing music really loud and the speakers start to distort, you know what I mean? You're hearing those like sounds it shouldn't be making, right? It's just like it starts to sound loud instead of sound good. You know, that's the point when something's happening. And more often than not, it's bad signal getting to your speaker. You see, the thing is, not every speaker can play every sound, right? And even if it can, it probably isn't designed to. By eliminating the sounds that the speaker can't play well or flat, you're going to get the sounds that it can play very well. And this is great for like those 2-inch speakers. Maybe you got some in the... Think about it like this, right? Every component that Mercedes puts in the car, they're going to charge you about 10 times as much to make it worthwhile, right? So if you have a 20 speaker sound system and each crossover component is about like $10, let's just say it's $10 per speaker. That's $200 to Mercedes, that's $2,000 to you. They're probably not going to do that. They're probably not going to have the cleanest filtered sounds. And so they've relied on digital signal processing. But the thing is, digital signal processing isn't cheap either. There's a reason why nice stereos cost like $5,000 or you know, that's a pretty like reasonable amount for a set of separates from like Marantz. You know, we're not even talking about like Macintosh. To control signals really means your sound is cleaner. When you add these parts into your little speakers, they're not going to distort as easily. They're not going to feel overpowered. You can turn it all the way up and it's going to sound clean because they are only getting the sounds that they can play well. All right, so here would be, for example, what you'd want to do for your front soundstage. The capacitors filter out low, and so they're high pass, and the inductors filter out, high sounds, so they're low pass filters. There are a lot of calculators for this online, like just Google, crossover calculator, and then you can go to Parts Express and pick up the parts. You are going to want to find and buy pretty nice capacitors. You're going to want things that are, that are multi-directional. You don't want, one-directional capacitors because they're really going to sound better. You want to spend a little more here and get the good sounding stuff here. So these are the capacitors, typify the capacitors you're going to want. You're going to want 4 of these. You're going to want 5 of these, I believe. So these are going to go to all the little speakers that are like the 2-inch to like the 80mm speakers, whatever size that is. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so since I don't speak metric very well, I thought I would just show you. This is the front center speaker. This is a speaker that's going to be kind of hard to replace. But if you add a crossover, it's not going to get the bass in it, and it's going to play pretty clean. Now, it might be bright. You're probably going to want to add a subwoofer at some point, but it's going to feel clean. It's going to sound good. Now, in this picture here, I actually put the crossover sort of on the wrong side, quote unquote. It's not terrible because it's a multi-directional capacitor, but in general, you're going to want to put the capacitors on the positive side. And the green is the music side, looking at the wiring diagram. The other side, there's 2 clips, 2 inputs. The other side really looks like it's for like the phone and like navigation. I hope this video helped out a little bit. And in general, high level heuristics here. Add crossovers to prevent small speakers from getting low signal, like from like 20 hertz to maybe 400 hertz, because they can't play it, they're going to distort. And when you do that, it's going to sound clean. You can add a sub, you can upgrade the front sound system, sound stage. So you upgrade the front like 3 ways, right? You do that, especially the front woofers. You got to do that in the Mercedes. Upgrading those front speakers and then adding the capacitors, and then maybe adding some inductors to clean up the, what the woofers are hearing too, especially on the mids. You know, like on the front you have a three-way, right? So that's going to need an inductor plus a capacitor. And I should probably put a picture of that up here too for you guys. But yeah, in general, you can retain a lot of a factory sound system and get pretty high quality audio out of it.